Okay, so we are going to step away from phonics today, and we're going to do a little bit of grammar. So we've done a little bit of grammar here and there throughout the weeks, and this is grammar today. So your grammar today is going to be focusing on when to use me and when to use I. So I and me, we talked about last week, are pronouns. You can put those in place of a noun. So if I'm talking about myself, I could say I have pigtails in, or we could say Miss Riggs has pigtails in. So now, sometimes we're guilty, and I was guilty of it for a very, very long time when I was little, of saying the sentence like this. A sentence like this is incorrect, and you've probably heard me correct you sometimes, but sometimes I'll hear some of you say, Mom and me are going to the park tonight. And I'll say, no, you're supposed to say, Mom and I am going to the park tonight. And then you're kind of look at me like, well, but why? And we just don't want to use that. It's inaccurate and it doesn't sound correct. And we always want to speak correctly. And we want to make sure that we're using our grammar when we're speaking and when we're writing. So now you're going to know by the end of this lesson, you should know when to use me and when to use I. So we use I, the pronoun I, when you are the subject in the sentence. So for example, Mom and I are going to the park tonight. The subject, remember, is who or what the sentence is about. The sentence is about Mom and I going to the park. So the subject is, I'm involved in the subject, so I would say I instead of me. So Mom and I are going to the park. Excuse me. Now, we use me in the sentence when we are the predicate, when we are the person that is not doing the action. We're what the sentence is about. So you would never say a sentence like this. Will you play with I? That doesn't sound right. So in that sentence, we would say, will you play with me? So, or you could say, I would never say, Aaron played me in cards. I would never say, Aaron played I in cards. So I'm the predicate in that situation, so that's when you would put me in place. So go ahead and get your worksheet out, and we'll do some examples, and then I think that it'll help make a little bit of sense. Okay, so like Ms. Rick said, we use I when we're the subject. When we are the person in the sentence doing the action, we use I. So in this example, so my example was Mom and I go to the park. So I'm included in that. Mom and I are the subject. We are who the sentence is about. So that's why we use I in that sentence. Now, we use me when we're in the predicate of the sentence. So that means when we are not the person completing the action. We are just somebody that is involved. So here we go. Let's do some examples, and I think that it'll help. So we're going to use I for the subject when we are what the sentence is about, and we're going to use me when we are the predicate, when we are not doing the action in the sentence. So blank went to the store. So listen to me use both options. I went to the store, me went to the store. Am I the subject of that sentence or the predicate? Am I doing the action? Am I going to the store, or did somebody else go to the store for me? Great, I am the one that went to it, so I would use I. So here you see, I is the subject. I went to the store. You would never say me went to the store. That doesn't make sense. So you would say I went to the store because you are the subject. See, subject, I. I'm the one going to the store. All right, let's do another one. Will you play with blank? So now we need to say, will you play with blank? Are we the person completing the action? Are we the one playing already? Or are we asking someone to play with us? Are we the predicate? So we're the predicate in that situation, so we'll say me. So, will you play with me? You would never want to say, will you play with I? So me is the predicate in this situation, so we're going to use me. Here we go. Mom and blank like to march. So you need to ask yourself, are we a part of the subject or are we the predicate? So if we're doing the action, then we want to use I. If we're not doing the action, we want to say me. All right, it would be I, because Mom and I are the ones that like to march. All right. We'll go all the way to 5, and then we'll pause the video, and you can do 6, 7, 8 on your own. So it says, Bert and blank see a bird. So let's think. Bert and blank see a bird. Am I a part of that if I say I here? Or do I put me here? Remember, I is in the subject when we are doing the action. Are we doing the action in the situation? Are we seeing the bird? Or are we the predicate? Are we the me? If you said I, you are correct. Bert and I see a bird. We are seeing the bird with Bert, so we are included, so we would use I. All right, last one, and then I want you to do the rest on your own. The dog came up to Kate and blank. This one's a little tricky. The dog came up to Kate and blank. So you need to ask yourself, am I doing the action? Am I coming up to somebody, or somebody coming up to me? Because it looks like the subject in the sentence, the dog came up. So the dog came up as the subject. So if that is the subject, what do I need to put here? This is the subject. We have to put me here. We are part of the predicate there. So the dog came up to Kate and me. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and finish it on